Link status, okay. This page gives you a little bit more detail than what the top of the page does, but effectively if the top of the page is linked in green, you have no reason to come here. Unless you want to find out what radio you're plugged into, because in my case I wanted to make sure I was plugged into the right one before I turned ODU power off and stuff. Like here I have nothing plugged into my T1. Okay? I do have something plugged into my SFP. There's nothing plugged into the SFP, but the SFP is plugged into it. Okay? Because this is green up here, all of these are green. If this was red, I wasn't getting a link for whatever reason, I might want to come into here and see what was not green in here. In all cases, everything on the right here should be green. Okay. These on the left will control the link. You might have some of them that are red because you don't have the right RSSI or the settings don't match between two sides or whatever. But if the PLLs are unlocked, one of them is red over here, everything's gone. Okay? Link. That's why there's a number here already. I should mention one thing. This BER and FER, it's bit error rate and frame error rate, okay, are cumulative up until the last time you hit the status clear button. Okay? So even though I'm seeing this bit error rate of 1.7 to -7 right now, that doesn't mean I'm actually having bit errors right now. It just means that the average of everything I've passed, that's what it works out to. Okay? The reason I have bit error rate is because you watched me do things like turn the op mode off, turn the ODU power off. When I first plugged in the link, they did not come on at the exact same time, so there was a time when there was no link. There will always be bit error and frame error and uncorrected blocks, we'll talk about it tomorrow, whenever the link is first established. Okay? So you either have to reset it, or you just have to monitor it for changes. Okay?
And how do you do that? How do you reset?
You'll go to the Ethernet stats page and you hit clear counters. Okay. Now when I go back to link status, it's all zeros. You're passing a lot of traffic on your link. That little bit you had from when the link was down will quickly go away. In my case, I have no traffic on the link, so it's averaging out. It's not averaging very well for me. In production, it would average better. But you can also see the temperatures here. Link test, those of you that are familiar with the CLI are familiar with the CLI command, link test probably. We just brought this to the web interface because it's great for tech support, and some people we'd ask them to run link test 10 and they would write back and say, huh? So now you can run the link test in the web interface and you don't have to download PuTTY or Secure CRT because you're running Windows 7 and it doesn't have a client. It just shows you line by line, if you have a link, what the RSSI is, what the NSE is, what your bit error rate is, your transmit and receive profiles. This is useful to capture a time period, like it's every few seconds. So if I tell it to run 3, it's not going to be every second like it is via the CLI, but every other second or so it'll capture this result. So I could run like a link test 60, go get a cup of coffee, come back, and look at what it says. I could see if there's any fluctuation in it. Okay. Also useful for troubleshooting though. I could run link test 60 on this side, and then go turn the transmitter off on the other side. I'd lose access, so I can't get to it. Wait a minute or whatever, turn the transmitter back on, and when I log into this side, I could show the results here, and I'd see what it was like with the transmitter off on the other side. Okay. So it's good as a troubleshooting tool as well. That wasn't its intended purpose, but it works well. Okay, Ethernet stats. Shows me my traffic in and traffic out of the ports. Shows you, what you got set up here, auto negotiate on, and all that fun stuff. Clear counters to clear them. TDM stats, if I had a T1 plugged in, it would show me if I had a signal, if I had framing, if I was getting a blue or a yellow alarm. It would also show me CRCs and all this other stuff on it. But I do not have a T1 plugged in, nor did I remove it. RF stats is just like the Ethernet stats, but it's for the modem as opposed to the Ethernet ports. You should be able to follow a packet in Ethernet in, okay, so Ethernet in here to RF out here. Those numbers should be relatively close. Again, the clear counters here will clear all your counters. You will also get here the port rate in megabits, as well as the port utilization in percentage. 100 megabits would always be 100 megabits. In percentage, 100 megabits could be 1/3 of what the link's capable of, 33%. Or if the link's degraded, it could be 100% of what the link's capable of. So, percentages and megabits.